Hello my friends, welcome back for another shave, which is brought to us by CBL's Doc Holiday. Reaching back for this for some more peachy goodness. Our razor today is one I found in a box. It's a Lion brand, manufactured by Yankee Cutlery. And right here, it's a pretty razor. It's got some neat bone scales. I think it's the only razor I have with bone scale. The crazy part is it's manufactured by Yankee Cutlery, but on the other side, it says Fach Razor, Magnetized, Germany. All that tells me is it's pre-World War II, and magnetized was kind of a thing. I don't know why they did that. It's not magnetized. It doesn't stick to the mirror or anything else that's steel in here. So maybe it was magnetized. It ain't no more. Let's get started. It's just warm soap today, or warm water. I'm kind of torn. Should I do hot water or cold water? We're just gonna lather straight off the puck, or load straight off the puck. I rinsed my accumulator out. We're kind of starting fresh in the lather bowl, and we'll say about that much soap. Kind of softish. It's not the croupy like some of Chris's soaps are. I'm pulling out some little bit of the foam off the top here and loading that in here also. And we'll dip the tips and see what we can do. It's already pretty much lather in there. It's just a little bit of pretty stable. I must be sensitive to the peach fragrance in here, because last time I used it, I felt like I was James and the Giant Peach walking around the house with that. Spouse unit couldn't detect the fragrance at all, so I must have a good sniffer for that kind of fruit or something. This is a real dense kind of a so I'm gonna lather that. Kind of water that down a little bit. Doesn't take a lot of water, just a little dip of the tips. I try not to use a lot of water at a time because I've broken a lather or two doing that. And then you have to add product, and that's pretty frothy. Must get a little bit more in there. But from that brief, not a very heavy load, we have a terrific amount of lather out of that, which is what we like out of CBL soaps. They do a real good job with that. Now let's get ready. Just a little bit of water and lather ourselves up. Like I said, I just found this razor in a box, and it seemed pretty sharp, but I gave it the business on the stone that was in the same box. It turned out to be a Imperial Aroca. I think it's slate-like stone, and I just slurried it a little bit with my lapping stone and dragged it across there. Now it didn't get all of the oxidized part off. It seemed to do pretty good though. I finished up by just stropping the bejeebers out of it. I stropped it 50 on the fire hose and 50 on chrome leather. Finished up with 50 on horsehide. And that should be, with 150 strokes, it should be something. Well, it's not bad. I noticed that this particular razor appears to have some geometry problems. Where, like the part that the face of the honed part, quite a bit more on one side than on the other. Even though I was following the spine and doing this, one side it indicates that the edge is kind of this way, kind of pushed forward a little bit. I could probably fix it by resetting the bevel. That's probably what we're gonna do. This edge is not great. Suitable for shaving, but I didn't necessarily like the bevel that I saw. So we want to bring it back to even. That's what it is. It's the engineer in me wanting to make everything even and perfect and stuff. Not always possible. You just don't. Sometimes an imperfect blade will give you a better shave than trying to chase after perfection. Today in history, we're thinking about the Mayflower. As on this date in 1620, the Mayflower set out from Plymouth, England, with 102 passengers, including the Pilgrims, for a trip across the Atlantic. This is all stuff that we all learned from our history classes when we were in school, and we get to wear our pilgrim hats. And this would be a Thanksgiving story, except they didn't leave England on Thanksgiving. So 102 passengers on a boat 80 to 90 feet long. Had 4 decks, or thereabouts. And we know that the passage took 66 days. They dropped anchor off the Cape Cod. At that time, it wasn't called Cape Cod. I don't know what they did. That's where they ended up, though. And that's kind of where this whole American experiment got its start. They drafted what they call the Mayflower Compact and used that as their constitution, as it were. And that is a direct descendant of our American Constitution. I don't know how much of it was included. You know, it's not a really bad edge when I can just do a swipe like that right across my cheek, and it's taking prisoners all the way across. But it's not taking all the prisoners we want it to be taken. Probably not a good idea to chase a BBS with a blade that you're not really happy with the edge on. I mean, you can, but I'm not that brave. So, they had kind of a rough go of it the first winter. And then of course there were some people who didn't make it through the winter. But basically, Pilgrims in 1620. Few in number. Established the colony or the settlement there at Plymouth. And the rest, I guess, well, it's history. That's pretty good, actually. I'm kind of impressed. But I'm not going to do any buffing or cleanup because I'm just not confident with this bevel. I wish you could see it, but it's kind of pretty lopsided. But I do think his bone scales are pretty cool. Real thin. I wonder if it's like a cow or what kind of bone that is. Pretty nice. Okay, let's see if I cut myself or if I braided myself. I don't think I did. Nope, no problem. Let's wrench ourselves off. Hit ourselves up with a little official CBL witch hazel. I still have a whole bottle of this. I don't think he makes it, or he made a little bit. I got a bottle of it, and then I was working on my Thayers. This is a limited edition scent, Litzia Q Baby, or prickly pear. Nice. And the matching Doc Holliday aftershave tonic has a pretty strong peach fragrance. You don't need very much, just kind of wipe it on. At first, when I first smelled it, I thought apricot or something, but no, it's very peachy. And I'm told huckleberry. That's why there's a Doc Holliday, I'll be your huckleberry. There it is. Great shave today. Thank you guys for coming to see me. I'm Major Rich. You'll find me at shaveandcutter.com. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe if you're so inclined, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.